Okay, gamers, welcome back to the second episode for Guild Wars 2 on beta. This is Daniel. Let's get started, shall we? So just to go over the basic combat, how it works, it is a dodge mechanic game, so there is sort of hitboxes. You can dodge out of most things unless it's like an arrow or a distance attack, so those tend to track a little bit. But otherwise, like melee attacks, you're able to dodge out of the way of. You have to keep yourself alive because there's no designated healers, there's no tanks. You basically do damage, you keep yourself alive, and so on and so forth. Now, as you change weapons, you get different abilities based on the weapon you're using, and your professions, aka classes, can only use specific weapons. So as we're here, let's go ahead and start with the Elementalist, and I'll give you a short description of each class and tell you what they use and what they do. Also, just on a quick side note, if you are underwater, your abilities also change as well. Not just changing weapons changes them, but also being underwater changes the abilities you get as well. So, anyways. Elementalist. Using the powers of fire, earth, water, and wind to maim, destroy, nuke, and drown, do all kinds of fun magical crap to your enemies. The Warrior. Using their combat prowess to tactically injure, cripple, and destroy their enemies in close quarters combat, while also using leaps and charges to close a distance on ranged attackers with ease. Guardian. Favoring one-handed weapons and the shield to defend themselves, keeping the close quarters combat, and using magical auras called virtues to increase the potency of their attacks or adding an attack in general, or even to defend themselves in harm. The Engineer. Using technological ingenuity and favoring ranged guns and pistols over melee, they use their knowledge of technology to hinder, slow, and then kill the enemies that stand in their path. Mesmer. Using the magical properties of illusion to daze, confuse, hinder, and finally destroy any enemies that enter their line of sight, concocting visions of spare versions of themselves who will also attack the enemy, aiding in your battle against them. Thief, using the powers of stealth and silence to sneak upon their foes and dealing fatal blows in a matter of a split second. Favoring daggers to complete their job, it's better to watch your back closely going up against these shadow dwellers. Necromancer, using the dark powers of shadow and disease to weaken and break down their enemies slowly while dealing larger attacks in between, making them a very scary force to deal with. And finally, the Ranger, preferring ranged weapons while using a companion pet to take care of the melee combat side of things, able to deliver accurate shots from long distance, and able to tame new pets to fight alongside and aid them. Thank you again for joining in. This is Daniel. Have yourselves a good one. Don't forget to subscribe.